Hello everyone and welcome to the latest QE video interview. And this afternoon we have Bonita Vander from Manhattan Language. Bonita is the owner and director of the school. So lovely to have you here this afternoon, Bonita. Lovely to see you.
Nice to be here. Nice to be talking to you.
Yeah, you too. So we're just gonna ask a few questions today about how things are at the school and in New York City, where the school is. But first of all, obviously, we've all been through a bit of a tough time with COVID and the restrictions and the amount of travel that hasn't been permitted over the last couple of years. But have you seen any positives that have come out of the COVID situation?
Actually, yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. I've been thinking about the gifts of COVID that came to our organization, and actually they are pretty big, pretty significant. And one thing is, I noticed that although we had a very close, managed kind of good communication skills in our organization, what this did was really tighten and strengthen the lines of communication between the administration, between the teaching staff, even between the students, by the way, because it's like we communicate constantly, actually weekends, all the time. I have a question, I text my teacher, I get an immediate answer. They have a question, they get an immediate answer. We really, really are super connected. And that is, really a real boon for us, I think.
So not just the connections, I guess, but also I guess the team has bonded even more over that time.
And the strength, the team has bonded 100%. We really didn't lose any teachers. We didn't really lose any staff. Staff. We really just operated completely where we were. We added, of course, but where we started at COVID, we just really become, like they say, a well-oiled machine. So that's a major strength.
Yeah, well, I know your staff well, and it was wonderful to see Daniel in Madrid and Rome earlier this year, because Daniel joined us on our first QE missions for a couple of years. So it was great to spend some time with him again.
Yeah. So that, and then I started thinking about the pre-boarding process as well, because what used to happen is we had quite a few students from Asia. They would arrive on Sunday, completely jet-lagged and completely messed up. We bring them into the school, 9 o'clock in the morning. We give them a test, and a 40-minute test, and then we'd sit down with them and we'd do an interview. And basically, they were probably completely, operating at 20% when that happened. And then we placed them into classes, and we always had a system where we would begin the testing and then start classes from the Monday. So that was great, but it was probably going against nature. And so what we have started to do, it starts with our we send an online placement test to the students about 2 weeks before they begin, when they're still in their natural, normal environment. And then they send us their results, and then Ellen, my DOS, or I will meet them on Zoom in our Zoom rooms. And then we'll go over their test scores, we'll do a speaking interview, and we'll help them plan their tests, their classes, while they're still lucid and in their right mind. So then they've developed, we've established a real strong bond. They knew who we are, they know who we are, we know who they are. We've planned their courses. When they arrive on Monday, they might still be jet lagged, but they are ready, and we're ready for them. And they come in, they meet me, great. Or Ellen, they feel like they've already, they're already in a comfortable place.
Great. So you've had the chance to think about things and change one or two things up since COVID. But let's focus on what's going on at the school and how New York City is right now. So how is the school busy at the moment?
The school is very busy. I mean, I think that we just from the beginning of the year 2022, we've probably been busier than we have been, for many years at this time of year. It's not high season. We have a lot of people arriving from abroad. They come through agent bookings, and we have plenty of people, as we always had traditionally, who are coming to us directly. So it's pretty busy, and we've been seeing numbers. I mean, not super numbers, but we've been seeing numbers higher than what we had at this time of year in January and February and coming into the spring. So what I think is there are two things we have going for us. We are in New York City, and I don't think we can even calibrate. We can really see how strong that is for people, because New York is always an attractive location. It's a destination people really want to come to, but there's such pent up, enthusiasm, and there's the wanderlust, and people have been thinking and dreaming and waiting, and now they can come. They want to travel, and they probably want to come to New York, and they probably don't want to go to a little town in the Midwest. So that's working for us. It's very strong. And I think that is going to carry us into a very strong summer season as well. And the other thing that I think we mentioned before was the diversity of the population. I did a quick count, and for those that studied with us or are studying with us, February to May, we got 38 nationalities. Wow. That's a lot. And we've got some pretty diverse ones that we didn't have before as well. So it's a real linguistic mix in the school. But the other thing is, I don't know if you know, but I'm not sure how things are in England, but in US schools, in the main destinations, LA and New York, and well, those are pretty much them, but California, the diversity of the population was never something we could achieve. We always were heavily Japanese or heavily Korean. And sometimes I guess some schools heavily Taiwanese, Chinese. So there were many nationalities in the schools, everybody's school, but there was a good chunk of 22% of one nationality.
Yeah.
And maybe even higher at some times. And not only have we been given the gift of diversity, but we don't have any super dominant language group or nationality in the school.
Yeah.
So all that we used to kind of dance around, how many Japanese students are in the school and that, or how many are going to be in my class, for example, and we don't have to dance anymore. It's great.
That's brilliant. So that's another kind of positive that's come recently, I guess. And I've heard that.
I just wanted to go back to the New York thing.
Yeah.
So people are coming and they're ready. They want to study, but they also want to enjoy the city. They want to see they want to see, they want to just discover what New York has to offer. And of course, New York is fully open. It's been fully open for actually, I really think at least since for a year almost, fully open. We can do everything. We can go everywhere. We don't have any significant restrictions, and everything is up and running beautifully. But one of the things that we have, I think, is a real strength and a real boon for us is the activity program in our school. Because people are here, they want to do stuff. They want to study English, but they want to go out and they want to make friends and they want to discover. And so we have, I think, a really, really good activity program that is organized by our DOS, Ellen. And I wanted to tell you what we have planned for this month. And I think it's, well, she asked me to mention that all of our activities are led by a teacher or a staff member. So we don't let our students go out and just kind of find their way, which sometimes happens in other places. We are led because if you've met my people, if you've met my DOS, if you've met Daniel, if you've met Neshe, you know that they can make a trip to the post office exciting. So, but in addition, we have a pretty good, pretty creative mix of activities just for the month of May. And we make a new calendar every May, but for the month of May, this is what we've got going on. We're going for, yesterday, we went to an urban hike in the Bronx with the teacher, Susie. So that was a beautiful day. At the same time, we went to what they call, there's a new very high building, the Vanderbilt. It's like really high. You wouldn't want to go there if you have any kind of problem with heights. So I will never go there. But it's like 47 stories and it's completely glass. So you look down.
Wow.
And we had a lot of people go to that. That was both activities went on yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Later in the month, we're doing La Boheme at the Metropolitan Opera. Can't beat that.
Very cool.
And there's a lot of enthusiasm. We're doing, Ellen is taking the students next week for a day trip to Philadelphia on the bus. We're going hiking with goats. Yes. We are going to Greenwood Cemetery, which is our second attempt to go with Ellen. And we're going to a Yankees baseball game with Susie, the teacher.
Ooh.
And we're going to the aquarium by popular demand. We're returning with Neshe. We're also going biking to City Island. And that's just the month of May.
Wow. So there's so much going on, so much for different ages and different tastes.
Exactly. Oh, happy hour with Daniel. And our Friday bonus classes with our teachers. We always have a special bonus class every Friday online.
Yeah. So tell me about the Fridays then. I hear that some of the classes have gone online so that the students have a bit more freedom to go traveling and explore.
Yeah. So that what my DOS Ellen wanted me to be very clear is we are 100% open and 100% in person. We're not hybrid. We are, I mean, a school like ours can't really be what we can be, what we are and what we can aspire to without being in person and having that life. But what we do have, which is a super thing for us, really, we love it, is Casual Fridays. So Casual Fridays means that after studying in the school Monday through Thursday, on Friday, you don't need to dress up and you don't need to put on your makeup and you can sleep in a little bit and you can join your classmates and your teachers at your schedule, but at home.
Very nice.
Or more likely as we get closer, you know, as the weather gets better, on the road, you know, because now people can do weekend trips, our teachers as well, and it can go out, travel, and still be connected and not miss any class or any time.
Perfect.
So I hope we never stop that. I don't think there is anyone connected with the school that doesn't love Casual Friday.
Yeah, well, that sounds fantastic. So that's another opportunity that's arisen from the previous.
Another COVID gift.
Yeah, COVID gift. That's brilliant. So, what about referrals? Do you get many referrals from past alumni, from students telling other students that they should go and study at Manhattan Language?
Yeah, I don't really have the statistics, but I mean, that's always been a strength of the school. We have people who return. We have people who send their children. I mean, we've been around for almost 22 years now.
Yeah.
We have a number of people who contact us by email or all the different methods, WhatsApp, who mention, I have a friend who studied with you. And that's why we have a very high rate of direct bookings and referrals. There's a lot of good feeling in the school. There always has been. But when you go back to that communication thing that we have really strengthened with COVID, we always ask our students for feedback at the end of every 6 weeks. And did you feel that you were able to get the help you needed, get the attention you needed? Did you ever, feel that you didn't get, you couldn't connect? And I mean, you know how things are now. You call and you never reach a person. If you send an email, you wait. It's a tough life of just getting through all the bureaucracy all the time. But in the school, because we are so connected and we have so much immediate communication in the school as well as out of the school, but it's just really, it really works very well. And I think that is another reason that we have so many referrals and happy people.
Brilliant.
The few times that I talk to people, like this week, last week, I asked them how they, heard about the school, contacted us. So of course, they say that many say they had a friend or they know of the school. But the other thing they say is that you've got the highest rating on Google.
Well, you can't argue with that. So just two more things, Bonita. So let's focus back on New York City. We've heard about the activities and the possibilities for the students and what they can do whilst they're at the school. But just tell me a little bit about how it's feeling in New York City right now and on the streets. Is it bustling? Is it completely back to how it's always been with lots of life and smells and colors?
Well, you should come and visit.
I will.
And then you see. We're in a terrific area of Manhattan. We're in downtown Manhattan. It's the financial district, but it's also kind of a center for tourists. It's part of the oldest part of New York. We have cobble streets. I mean, for you, it may not be so exciting to have cobble streets, but for us, it's kind of unusual. So one of the things we have is there's like a tourist thing called the Wall Street Charging Bull. It's a big bull sculpture that is supposed to, symbolize Wall Street and New York and finance. And it's right outside our building. It's just right outside. So people who come to visit always go there. They want to touch the bull. There's a long line. And it was so sad during COVID because you'd see the bull sitting there and, maybe one intrepid kind of person or two just kind of wandering around. And now the lines are back, long lines to just get through. We've got those tourist groups blocking our entrance again. You know, we've got, I think it's completely back. Really, New York is completely back.
Brilliant. Now I can picture it.
You have to start making reservations. You have to start getting special passes.
Yeah.
Everything is open and the crowds are back.
Brilliant. I can picture it and I can't wait to come back. So one final thing, Bonita, have you got a message you'd like to send out there to any prospective students and to your agent partners around the world?
Okay, that was didn't expect that or anything. The same thing. I mean, we have a wonderful school in a beautiful building, and our staff and our teachers are probably the most experienced and qualified in New York. We've all come through this COVID thing together. We are even better than we were. If you want to be 100% confident that if you send a student to Manhattan Language for business English or for general English or for test IELTS or TOEFL test prep or any level, we've kept all our levels going. You can be assured they're going to be met by us and that they're going to have teachers that they will love.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much. It's lovely to see you, Bonita, and I look forward to seeing you and coming to visit the school very soon.
Okay. We'll go to that beer bar they're opening it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.